I guess we'll find out.
Hello. Hopefully, people can hear us and people can see us. We've hit the end of the timer, so we've got to be live no matter what. Someone say if you can hear us. We can hear you and see you. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Welcome to Warhammer 3 What's Next Live. You guys have done a couple of What's Nexts.
Definitely one.
We did one? Or was that the show and tell? I can't remember what they're called.
You did a show and tell. You've not. I don't think you've done a. We've not done a What's Next Live. So you've definitely not done.
Oh, we did the What's Next videos with Steve.
Yes.
I like doing it with Steve.
So we. Well, that's how we're starting the stream off. Before we begin, shall we introduce ourselves? I'm Josh, perpetually. Sean,
Associate Design Director.
Rich, game director.
Two faces I imagine most people watching this are pretty familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So, we used to do What's Next videos. We may do What's Next videos in the future. But one thing we noticed about the What's Next videos is we were getting a lot of comments of people wanting there to be a bit more discussion, a bit more of a back and forth, and for us to maybe be able to spend more time to explain some of the things we show. So we're trying this out. It's a live format of a What's Next. So if you've seen the What's Next videos, we've got, I think, maybe a bit more content than a What's Next video. Because we've got videos. And I think they're mostly screenshots in those. So we've got some videos, we've got some screenshots. We are going to start off with patch 8.1, but the patch 8.1 stuff is going to be very quick because the focus of this really is 9.0 and our redacted reveal, which I'm very glad to see says redacted, and I didn't put the wrong asset up.
Nice.
So just to clarify then, so 8.1 we spoke about in the show and tell. Mm-hmm. And we spoke about the campaign AI prioritization that's going to be changing there. So I think it's more of a linear change in tasks. There are some caveats that we'll have in the patch notes about where behavior isn't worse, just not as improved. And most of that is linked to customization of endgame crises. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing wacky things with your endgame crises, the AI may struggle with that. But overall, for a normal settings game, we're hoping to see some big improvements from AI kind of bobbling around.
Yeah.
We didn't have a screenshot for that because it's very hard to get a screenshot of just AI over loads and loads of different tests. But the release date for 8.1 currently is next week.
Yeah, so, not long to wait.
No. So hopefully you guys will have your hands on it soon. We'll have patch notes detailing what the changes we made are, where you'll see the biggest changes, but that will be coming next week. So look forward to that then. Right, shall we start talking about 9.0?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Ready? Whoa. 9.0's got a lot in it.
Yeah, we're busy.
We are. So 9.0, we are not today talking about, firstly, the Siege update that we're looking at, because that's 9.1, mm-hmm. right? And you're not seeing a 9.1 at that bottom bar. So there's no.
That's a zero.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Neferata.
No. Well, not really.
Well, that's the most we'll say the name. It still exists, still being worked on.
Yeah.
But I think the intent that we have for when we show Neferata is to show gameplay, right, rather than to talk over pictures or screenshots. Mm-hmm. So what we will be talking about and what we're starting off with is the only thing I mentioned, which is the end times structure update. I think is what we're referring to it as. Do we want to dive right in with that?
All the big free update.
Well, yes. So 9.0, we're going to break down a few different parts of it. We will start by talking about end games, end times.
Yeah.
But then we've got a whole host of other topics we're just going to touch on. So keep along with us for the journey. We don't know how long we're going to spend on each topic. I'll see how much information I can get out of you guys, and then we'll move on. All right? So, starting off, shall we talk about end games?
Sure.
Are you ready for the chart?
If I said no, this would be annoying for your transition, wouldn't it?
It would be very annoying.
Let's go.
All right. So, end games.
End games.
They're changing.
Yes.
As you can see there, I've got current on the left, and I've got what we're planning on the right.
Yes.
Care to talk to us a little bit about what the current end game is like?
I will somewhat read off the screen.
That's fine.
As we go through it. Yeah. So as it stands now, we've got they're called Endgame Crises, but I don't think they really satisfied what we wanted them to do, which is ultimately the problem. And as per the list, most of the time they just spawned a bunch of armies, and they didn't really change up the gameplay that we wanted to. We wanted it to be a big moment where, there is a threat, there is something that's coming in, not just like, here's 10 armies.
Yeah.
And obviously, 10 armies is a threat, but it's not necessarily interesting. It doesn't change the mechanics. So what we're looking to do now is when we hit these specific new end games. One is technically an evolution because Vermin Tide's already in the game, but we'll be having the new Vermin Tide. We've got the Chaos Invasion and Nagash turning up. There will be a foreshadowing moment of, by the way, it's this end game.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware who's going to come and ruin your day.
Yeah.
And then when the actual event starts, we will have a nice little moment of a cinematic as you come in and you go, oh no, who is the big bad?
Yep.
It'll come out and we will see what this is actually going to do to your campaign experience, where they have some bespoke mechanics, which we'll maybe see in a second.
Yep.
But yeah, the big thing is the old one also was like standard campaign AI. Everything was shared because it was quite a generic formula. When we made it, we thought, this is a great idea. It'll be like quite templateable. We can reuse it.
Yeah.
And in practice, what that meant was, this is bland. We probably should have done more. And now we are going, let's do more. So all of them are bespoke in some way, and there's a bit more effort put in.
So, go ahead.
The old ones will still exist, but we're going to be calling those crisis events now. Mm-hmm. So these are the big endgame scenarios.
Yep.
So just to set the scene, as Sean said, these ones are really here to impact your experience to quite a level.
Yeah.
So is the intent? So would you have both a crisis event and an endgame event during your campaign?
If you so choose.
Okay.
I mean, the crisis events are very much like, in the mid game, someone gets a power bump. That's effectively how it works right now. The dwarves, they've got a big power bump, but it hasn't actually changed your campaign player a great degree other than one of the factions are supercharged now. These end games are supposed to be actually changing the way the campaign is going to play and how the other AI interact with you. When Archaon turns up, everyone's probably going to universally agree, maybe we chill a bit until he's gone.
Maybe not Archaon.
Yeah, well, no, maybe he's got his own stuff going on, but all the non-Chaos factions will probably agree maybe there's bigger problems on the horizon.
Yeah.
But yeah, the crisis events can still happen, but they aren't the big moment. The end game scenarios are the big moments.
Yeah. And one of the things that we'll call out there, so what we're going to do is we're going to dive into just a couple of very work in progress, in development screenshots of Archaon's endgame event, but very difficulty curves. So the three endgame events, they're spiking at different times, or?
Yeah, so the Archaon one is very much, at the get-go, don't mess with Archaon. He's going to come in with a unified chaos, and for all of this giant unified form of chaos and all of the different pieces of the mechanic you'll probably get a glimpse at in a second, he is effectively, not literally, but effectively untouchable.
Yeah.
Like, he is so amped to the nines, don't try it.
Yeah.
The gameplay goal there is weaken his forces, weaken the United Chaos, and then eventually take him on.
Let's go to our next screenshot.
I'm spoiling it all.
I will give a public apology. That says patch 9.0. It's meant to say update 9.0. I've not used our correct terminology. So everyone pretend that says update. Well, shall we talk about Archaon's endgame event?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
People seem pretty excited by these updates. So let's show them a little bit of what they'd get to experience. So when does this pop up?
So we've got our foreshadowing moment of, where's Archaon gone? That's suspicious. And then about 10 turns later, we'll have on the start of the turn, we'll have the nice, if you remember back to Warhammer 1 when we had the Chaos Invasion cinematic, it's effectively in that vein of setting the tone that things are going to get bad.
Yeah.
And then when you come out, you'll get this, and this will give you an explanation of what is the theme, who is the trouble, how do you stop it?
And he's trouble.
Yeah. So a couple of his mechanics are on there at the moment. So we're starting with a very high ward save, which I think you'd hinted at.
Yeah,
so
don't try it.
So don't immediately go and take Archaon.
Yeah. I mean, you can. I wouldn't personally.
We look forward to the challenge videos. Someone asking then, where will Archaon be on the map if you weren't playing as him?
So because all of this is development in progress, that is actually one of the things that we're still tweaking. But generally, we're trying to get him and his friends, the Friends of Chaos, to be close enough to you that it's relevant. We don't want it to be you're in Lustria and Archaon is all the way in the old world and completely untouchable and thus irrelevant. But we are still fine-tuning what feels right, because we don't want him to be primarily invading Lustria for the his big moment. Doesn't really work. So that is something we're still fine-tuning.
And these mechanics that they're seeing on screen now, these are unique to Archaon's endgame, right?
Yes.
So the other two may have similarities, but overall are a different experience.
Yes, I mean, there are similarities in terms of what the goal might be or how you might counter something, but the actual mechanic itself is, very unique.
Yeah. So I think we actually have a screenshot of I let it happen. I let this endgame trigger, and this is if anyone can work out where that is, they'll work out it is a very different looking version of what that area of the map should look like. So are we talking about different visuals then for these endgames?
Yeah, if you don't stop Archaon, the world's going to get much smaller very quickly. And the only way to... I mean, we're clearly, for those that have been following us, seeing our devastation visuals here as the world is being destroyed. And throughout the end game, work in progress as it stands today, as the regions are raised and destroyed during the end game, you cannot recolonize them until the end game of Archaon is resolved.
Yep.
So he's really hampering you going for that domination victory.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to get rid of them.
So we're seeing Chaos factions uniting under Archaon.
Yep.
They're getting stronger. They're taking out settlements.
Yep.
We can't immediately just go and take them back.
No.
So you're kind of being really confronted with this is the end of the world unless you step up and stop it. I'm just seeing if there's anything else I have to say about that. New UI that they've seen, new music. I've seen quite a lot of people excited for.
Yeah, there's that monitor just turned off.
That's gonna be whatever.
There's a new piece of music for each of the end games that goes with it, and we've been calling it our mood change, because as it happens, we see some of the devastation. The lighting will change when you're in the devastation, and the music will play when the beginning of it happens. So we'll have that cinematic. We'll come out. We'll get the Archaon's here moment, and we'll get the Chaos endgame music of be careful.
It sounds pretty good.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And we're saying there's going to be 2 more kind of variants of that then.
Yeah. One for each of the end games.
And I've got here then. So how are we stopping Archaon then at the very end of it?
You have to fight him, aren't you? You have to beat him up and then take him back to his final stand.
I think there's a couple of hints as well. With the number of invasion forces remaining, right? So they're reducing ward save a little bit. There are other ways to reduce ward save.
Yeah, so I again, work in progress.
Yeah.
All of this could change. But right now it's mostly about taking out his lieutenants.
Yeah, can you grab me the remote and can you grab me the mouse? Yeah. Thank you very much.
This is alive.
It is.
Yeah, so you can take out his lieutenants or the Chaos Lords, and you can go after the Chaos Portal Fortresses, which is the in-progress name for what they are. Which is why it sounds a bit of a mouthful. No, it's actually it's really slick, that term. But effectively, what a Chaos Portal Fortress is we designate a part of the world where the barrier between the realm of chaos and the mortal world is being weakened at a portal, and that is a danger point for forces to come from. So you want to shut that down, because 1, that's a danger point, and 2, that does weaken Archaon and the overall invasion.
Fantastic. Then we're not going to talk about the other 2, because we are going to save that for you guys to be able to see themselves. But we are going to talk about, while we're on the topic of him, Archaon. So Archaon's had some a little touch up.
Yeah.
Let me get. We'll start off with the pictures.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and Dorgar as well.
That'll be our next picture.
Spoilers.
If Dom can come in, Mr. Producer, and just log into that PC, it would save me a big headache. So, what have we got here? What are we looking at?
It's Archaon, isn't it?
It is. He looks a bit darker.
He's a bit more moody and broody.
So this isn't, as I can see, this isn't a complete remodeling, right? It's a bit of a texture update. So we're not sitting there saying we've completely redone the model. But you can see he's a bit broodier. He's a bit darker.
Yeah. Just a bit more befitting for...
Exactly. Someone in the chat was saying he's got more aura, and I don't fully understand what that means, but I understand enough. Oh, I don't know if you want to have said that. That'll be clipped. All right.
He's mogging on them all.
Oh, okay. And also his horses. Thank you, Dom. That one, please.
Yeah, Dorgar looks good.
Yeah, Dorgar looks good. I think that the big thing is between Warhammer 1 lighting and the setup of our initial game and Warhammer 3, a lot has changed over the course of our technology, our assets, and so on. And now we've got to a point where we felt that he didn't quite match the rest of the game's atmosphere.
No.
So we thought he needed that texture update.
That's it. Yeah, you have to remember, these models are, at least 10 years old now.
Yeah.
I forgot that they can't see me, so I've just run off camera and fixed some things.
Yeah, we pretended.
That was fantastic. Fantastic work. Alongside that then, a little change to weapons.
Of course.
I don't have a before for this, so they're going to have to...
It's to imagine.
Or
just load up the game.
Exactly. Load it up now and have a look. So just a few little changes there, but that isn't all the changes coming to Archaon?
No.
Okay.
He's got some campaign updates as well. So I think I might have seen a couple of Reddit threads about it, and we've had it in the works for a while. And I think it might have been me who said it years ago on Champions of Chaos. We always wanted Archaon to be able to confederate the other Chaos factions, but our technology literally didn't allow it at the time.
Yep.
It now does allow it. So what we can do is, very much Norska inspired, if he beats up any of the other Chaos factions, and that's not just the Warriors of Chaos, that's also the likes of Scarbrand and the Demons, he can say, you work for me now because I'm big bad Chaos man.
Yeah, ever chosen, right?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So how many people are we talking about he can confederate here?
I didn't count beforehand.
20 something.
It's a lot. It's quite a few. Yeah.
We were maybe thinking of getting a picture of him with all of them around, but it looked a bit. It looks a bit like the Justice League, maybe, or the Unjustice League.
Yeah.
I have a few questions from chat. I'm just gonna have a quick look through and see which of these we can ask. That's why I needed to get this monitor up. Will the new corruption be visible for players playing non-chaos or death factions?
The new it's not necessarily new corruption. It's devastation. So there are ways that the devastation will happen, not just the end game. So Nagash's core mechanics actually use the devastation visuals to show that he's killing the world.
Yeah.
So everyone, regardless of whether you buy the DLC or not, you will see the world be updated based on the goings on of the other factions.
Yep. Where will Archaon start on the map if you're not playing as him?
He's still in the same place, but if he becomes the end game, he goes walkabouts for a bit, and that's part of that escalation of
build up, right?
Where's the bad guy gone?
Yeah. Suddenly he's there. If you're playing as Chaos, how will you fight Archaon?
So as it stands today, work in progress. We don't do this end game if you're playing as Chaos, because all of Chaos unite into one single. We hate the rest of the world unified force, the Injustice League, like you said. So we felt that if you were playing, if you were playing as a Chaos faction, it didn't really have that big moment of like, oh, I've got a new enemy, I've got a new thing to challenge, because they would effectively be on your side.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't actually be the big moment we want. You just get a really big ally. So as it stands, it doesn't happen, but it's work in progress.
However,
so it might change.
Well, another question is, how does the end game work if you are Archaon?
Oh well. Obviously, you are the end game, and I feel like we're jumping ahead a little bit.
Oh, no, this is it.
Is this perfect timing?
This is perfect timing.
Oh man, what prep we do on this stream. Yeah, so as you go through your campaign as Archaon, when you complete your short victory, you will get the option of, would you like to keep playing your standard Archaon Warriors of Chaos loop, or would you like to become the equivalent of an end game? At that point, you can no longer occupy territory, and you can only destroy territory. And when you destroy enough regions in a province, it will become devastated. Every devastated province then adds to your total power level.
Yep.
And you become a pseudo version of what Archaon's endgame is.
I think that is so cool. The ability to become an endgame. I mean, a lot of players joke that the player is the endgame, but to take that and be with Archaon, no, this is you
quite literally are. Yeah.
That's really cool. Other questions we had here. So there was a question I think you've kind of touched on, which is, are the current crises being reworked?
They're being... So the Vermin Tide one is, because that is one of our 3 big end games. The other ones are being adjusted so that it works alongside the end game, but it isn't our focus right now.
Yep. That makes
That's
sense.
the answer.
Thank you. I was just seeing if that's a question, but actually it was it was not. It was someone going holy moly, which is the brand safe version. Okay, cool. We've got maybe a little thing about another Chaos champion who you want to mention?
Oh, yeah. So Sigvald, when we did Azazel and we made a Slaanesh champion, and everyone told us, why is Sigvald an undivided champion? We agree. Why is he an undivided champion? So he will become a Slaanesh champion in the future.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing to mention about Archaon is we are looking to integrate Wrathmongers and Skull Reapers into the Warband trees. Yeah. So again, something that people were asking about, now is the time that we're going to make that one happen.
Yeah, it was a somewhat, let's wait till we do the End Times DLC to bring in the End Times unit that came with Archaon, that Archaon could get access to. So we were updating his warbands to get them as well.
So if you bought Archaon 10 years ago, now you're going to get the whole new experience of it.
Archaon,
you already had one rework, her second rework, where he gets his own mechanic.
Become the rework. So I will pop up just, I think, one more time before we move on the Endgames comparison. So we kind of bundled two things in there, right? Endgames and Archaon. But just for those who missed it. So the current crises, they will be called crisis events. There'll be more of a mid-campaign, a power boost to a faction. But what we've got are 3 bespoke, I guess, thematic war.
They are, much like the entire DLC and update, it's End Times inspired. So it's not a direct translation one-to-one of what happened in the End Times, but we are taking inspiration from what were the motivations of the characters, what were they trying to achieve, and how can we bring that into Warhammer 3.
Fantastic. Then we have one other thing before we move on to our next section, and it is a really pretty cool opportunity that landed on our laps. Our friends over at Weta Workshop, which I don't think I've ever said Weta out loud, and I've just seen how many bits there are on the name, and I don't know if I've said that correctly. They are also big fans of Warhammer, for those who don't know. They've made a whole bunch of statues, and they are making one to celebrate Total War Warhammer. But it's just a tease. We're not able to say exactly who they're working on. So stay tuned to Weta's channels, and you'll be able to find out more about them. Maybe someone will be able to guess who it is and who's getting a model. But if you're excited to get a model of them, that will be coming soonish.
That's almost as hard as your last Who's That unit.
It is. I did realise, as I said, coming soonish. I have no idea when it's coming out, but it's cool, and there'll be more information about it on Weta's channel. Right, let's move on to firstly this. Welcome back. Let's talk about victory conditions. So we've had a look at victory conditions in 9.0.
Yes.
All of them.
And I think that's the headline here, right? Every Lord has had a look at their victory conditions?
Yeah, this is something we put off for a long time because it is such a big piece of work, but it felt needed.
Yeah, you can't just do one group. It was we're going to do the whole shebang.
Yep. And there's been, so I've got the before and after here. So at the moment, to talk about the philosophy of victory conditions, so a lot of these were put in with the release of Immortal Empires, right?
Yep.
Some ported over from Warhammer 2, some more bespoke. So they were shared culturally. So is that each race kind of having a similar theme?
So it was actually even more broad than that. It was shared by these hidden groups of chaos and destruction. So it wasn't even just ogres have this and greenskins have that. It was everyone that we think is within this broad spectrum gets the same thing. So it was super broad, and it was necessary for Immortal Empires to get that moving at the pace it needed to, but it has always been something that we wished we'd gone back to, and now we are. So. Yeah,
we want to inject some flavour and some character here.
Yeah. So, and we've got 3 examples of some victory conditions before and after. But the change now, so focus on conquest, I like being something removed as more of a thematic, as someone who likes to play Oxalotl. Wasn't a fan of having to raise 30 settlements. I just want to live in the south and just live my life, adventuring out. So the planned one's bespoke per lord, we've said. Every lord's had a look. They're thematic and mechanic focused, so it's more about using the faction rather than a carte blanche, go and do this. Focused rewards. So we'll touch on rewards.
We can touch on rewards a little bit, but the headline of it is currently short victory and long victory are by and large shared generic effects for everyone. And again, that was just a part of the Immortal Empire setup. We needed to get something in. What we've done now is for the short victory, there is a shared cultural reward. So all of the high elves will have one reward, and the second short victory is bespoke to the character you are playing as. So there's 2 key rewards. And then the long victory is still in the same vein as what's live of, it's a more generic reward that's and the goal of the rewards is to encourage you to go to the next stage. So the short victory is a nice little thematic bump to go, hey, why don't you stick around and complete your long victory with these thematic rewards? And when you get to long victory, the only thing left after that is domination or surviving the end games. So it's a bit more of a generic, here's a slight bump in your starting rank and those kind of things, so that you can keep the pace that you are currently at.
Yep. We don't. So we'll be showing some of the victory conditions. We won't be showing some of the rewards because I think they're all still going through levels of approvals.
Yeah.
I've seen some of them. Some of them really exciting. So really excited to see what people think when we start to be able to talk about them more. And the person in me was like, I'm live and I can say what I want. Want to start listing some of the ones I like, but I won't. I'll hold back. So what we'll start is we'll have a look at Thorgrim. So this is what Thorgrim's current short and long victory conditions are. So you can see here.
Tiny picture.
It was you're going to see it was a lot harder to fit the new ones in. So that's everyone can remember. That's what it looks like. It's also why I got rid of development in progress. It's already developed.
Everyone's snipping tool right now.
Yeah.
And then this is what the planned ones are. So I think for Thorgrim, this is kind of an archetypal faction leader version of our reward update.
Yeah, so for the faction leaders, we do want it to be about unifying the faction. That's why we've got something like the Confederation but even within there's still like clear cultural goals, and there is like the appropriate landmarks that we want you to get.
Yep.
But you can also see in here there's a couple of UI improvements for how we're showing off these things. A lot of our victory condition UI was dated, and we've had quite a few people trying to make it not look so dated. Which was actually quite difficult for any modder who's actually touched the victory editions, because I know there's a very popular mod. They'll know it's quite dated, that UI.
And but I think also, while we're on it, to touch on that, what people see is the goal here isn't to emulate popular victory conditions mods, right? We're both beholden to different rule sets and different player expectations for sandbox gameplay, but also that experience is out there and it exists. So if that's the kind of experience you want, you can get it. What we're creating is our own version of the experience.
Yeah, precisely. And for what it's worth, we really like that mod. We think it's a really cool mod. And like you said, we had our own ethos of what we were trying to achieve with it, and how we made a unified approach across the game. But for a long time, where we had just the Immortal Empires victory editions, I think a lot of players did appreciate the effort that mod had put in.
For sure.
I'm in a lot of trouble because I said short several times on the Thorgrim screen. So
once more.
There we go. That's 3 entries in the book. So shall we talk about the Beastmen? So we've got Taurox.
Sure. He's a good one.
So this is the before. Get some marks. Occupy, loot, and raise some places.
Kill a bunch of factions, especially ones that you're nowhere near.
Yep. So everyone remember, this is what we've got, and this is what we'd be looking to move into.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things I actually want to call out here, and the development in progress is doing some heavy lifting, because anyone that is eagle-eyed will see, raise the Minotaur's cap twice. This is because we are testing out the tech. It's new tech to get this to work, so that those numbers are all placeholder as is. But the key thing that would have changed from the previous one to this one is whenever we say kill a faction, they should be, and if we've missed it, bug. They should always be legendary lord factions.
Right.
We don't want you to just be killing minor factions anymore. It's not a particularly noteworthy achievement, and we want it to be that those factions are where you are, or someone that you actually should be thematically trying to kill. So Taurox being all the way in Nagash, it didn't really make much sense that he had to go and kill Carl Franz.
Yep.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Someone said, was that Taurox? And now I'm doubting myself. I think those were the right pictures.
It was Taurox.
Yeah? Okay, good. They've confirmed. So anything else? And also, I guess the special herdstones is a really cool change up. But you can see the point here, Beastmen are quite a sandbox faction.
Yeah.
So we've maintained that sandboxness. It's just a bit more thematic to Taurox.
Exactly that.
So shall we talk about tic-tac-toe?
Why not?
He's hoping he spelled it correctly. So this is the current for tic-tac-toe, and I think, you could say, what do people hate about this condition? You have to go to Lustria.
I've got the cap on because the light is so blinding.
It's the worst resolution monitor I can find.
Across the pond, don't you?
Yeah, well, the lizard men are your guys, aren't they? So you should talk about this one.
Again, it's just in the wrong part of the world for what we're asking to do, so want to absolutely address that and make sure you are fighting, going after things that make thematic sense and around where your character starts.
Yep. I have actually misspelled tic-tac-toe.
It should be a Q.
Yeah, don't. All right. And so everyone remember, this is what's before, and it's still misspelled. But this is the after. So what are we seeing here in differences of conditions? So we're seeing a shift of stuff into the short campaign as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're seeing around cultural mechanics like the spawning sequences. We're seeing, and again, these numbers are all temporaries, we put them in.
Yeah.
But rather than just... Actually, the recruit one's a good example to talk about. Where we want you to have themed armies with tic-tac-toe, you should have these flying units.
Yep.
We didn't want the objective to be purely just recruit them, because we felt that would be a bit of a weak ending to a campaign if you ended on I clicked recruit victory. So we have the rank condition in there as well, because the goal and the hope there is the likelihood is you'll end on a battle ranking up those units so that they cross that threshold.
Yep.
So that is something else we're trying to achieve, is make sure that we don't end on a bit of a weak ending. We want it to have like a nice battle, something exciting that made it feel like a victory.
Get the proper Lizardman Air Force.
Exactly. And someone said, have there been any changes to insert any Lord name? And I think the answer is yes, right?
Yes.
So every Lord.
Changed.
Yeah.
So these are 3 examples of...
Actually, tell a lie. A couple of the more recent DLCs haven't changed that much, because
Bashiva, for example.
Yeah, for the players who are paying attention, we were sort of figuring out in the last 3 DLCs what works.
Yeah.
So that we could go, what is it from then on? And that's why it's been a little bit inconsistent in the last couple of DLCs, because we were trying to figure out what was the best approach.
Yeah.
So like Bashiva either won't change at all, or is changing very small amounts compared to a lot of the older characters.
And someone asking what the rewards are. We did speak about that before. The rewards are all the rewards changing? A large swathe at least?
Basically all the rewards are changing. Except for Chaos Dwarves, because again they had something that was actually noteworthy.
Yes. So we will we'll hopefully be able to share more about that as we get closer. There's just so many of them. Like we had to pick 3 here out of 100 lords. I mentioned at the start, like Oxalotl, he's lost his go and take 30, and it's instead about doing his missions, right? Yeah. And I think that's the vibe people will see for all of these. Is it's much more focused on the faction. Are we doing anything with flybys?
Yes.
Was that subtle enough, do you think?
We wanted to come back and address the fact that flybys have been essentially gone, right? Since we made Immortal Empires. Sure, we've got the little camera pan down, but it's nothing like what we did originally for the Warhammer series. So you're going to get to see those again now when you start the game. They're not going to be focused on a particular character, but on an area of the world. So you'll get some lore, some explanation, like a setup, where people are, what they're doing. Give you a lay of the land, basically, and hopefully create that immersive start that a lot of people are after. And
that's what a flyby is, right? Is when you start the campaign, you're being zoomed around, you're being given the lay of the land. I just saw a couple of people going, "What's a flyby?" But I think the one I saw about a minute long, just narrated, giving you that context.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know people really miss those, so a lot of people are very happy to see them back. Norska rework when I saw in the chat, I think about 8 months ago. How long is time?
A little while ago now.
Shall we talk about vampire counts?
Why not?
So, to caveat this, we don't have any specific screenshots of the vampire count stuff. This is going to be a bit more of a discussion of it. Some of it more tied to Neferata bits that we didn't want to show. So we're going to have a discussion of it. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that's changing. And then we're moving on to our third section of the stream. So, vampires. They've had a couple of changes.
They've been waiting for them as well.
Yeah, they've been a long time. I mean, they got the bloodlines back 7-8 years ago.
I think that was one of our first reworks that we did.
I don't even know if we call it a rework these days.
No, a panel feature.
We call it a panel, yeah. But yeah, they've been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Another reason why we don't have many images here is this is the most work in progress in terms of we are playtesting this quite significantly right now, and things are changing a lot. So I'll be somewhat vague at times.
But I think this is the intent that we're going for at the moment, right? But we need to prove it out, make sure it's fun. And,
But the big thing here, I'll start with the reworked because it's grounded. You understand what is already in the game. So Raised Dead. Nobody actually used local recruitment for vampire counts ever, because why would you? It was not the way that you actually recruited. So we've acknowledged that is not the way that you actually recruit, and we have now changed Raised Dead to be the default way of the vampire counts recruit. How it works now is to jump to the new section. So I'm going backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
We've got corpses. So when you fight a battle in a province, the number of people that die contribute to the corpses in the province. And you can use those corpses to immediately re-recruit the units that you want.
Yep.
So very much like how Raised Dead worked, but instead of it using treasury or dark magic, it now uses corpses as our fuel for new units. That is for like the bottom half of the faction, the tiers 1 to 3. The tiers 4 and 5 will use a different resource, which is effectively like blood kisses plus. I'm still working on that.
Plus kisses. You can take that.
Oh, look at that.
Amazing. But we're still working on what that name will actually be called.
Yep.
We're workshopping a few options, but effectively it's Blood Kisses Plus.
Yep.
That will be used to recruit the tiers 4 and 5 units. So corpses are a provincial recruitment. You walk into somewhere, you go, there's loads of dead bodies, let's get some scallybobs. And then you want a big Terrorgeist, well, you use your special Blood Kisses Plus resource, and you can do that anywhere. It doesn't matter whether there's corpses in the province because you're using your special resource for it. But because we're shifting to everything's immediate recruitment, and we know it is, we're also going to be using unit caps now. So we still wanted the buildings to actually be useful, which is part of the problem why the local recruitment was a bit of a failed version there, because you never built the buildings because that wasn't how you even got the units. So now you build the buildings to help you get unit caps, so that you can use the new recruitment loop. So that's the big Raised Dead changes there and recruitment changes. There's a few things that are self-explanatory, like there's a new tech tree. It's split between 3 sections: a necromancy section, a vampire section, and a shared the units section. And what else have we got? Oh, we got new convert regions to. So there's quite a few places in the world where you don't like the climate. You can spend your Blood Kisses Plus resource to actually change it into a new climate type called Undead Wasteland. So you can turn anywhere in the world into an actual Undead Wastelands that will match the visuals of the corruption. It's an expensive thing to do, and it can be reverted if someone takes away your big settlement, but it's just another new little thing that we've added.
Terraforming.
Yeah.
Then anything else we want to chat about on here? We've got the and more, because there are a whole bunch of other little things being changed.
I didn't even mention vampire layers. That's a big one.
That is. I saw some people saying, "What's a vampire?"
The big change there. But, I mean, realistically, necromancers and vampires are on pretty substantial different power levels. And I don't think we really captured that in the live version of the game, where you can just get either or. So to get vampires now, you have to find a vampire layer. You can either take the settlement or send an agent off to find the layer. And when you get there, you then customize what your vampire is. So you can spend your Blood Kisses Plus resource to make sure that the army, that when it comes in, it comes with an army. It comes with some special traits, comes with some special items, comes in at a higher rank. But most importantly, you pick what bloodline it is. So your vampires are always one of the bloodlines, but you have to find them. So they're limited, but intentionally from the get-go, we are making the more powerful option.
That's awesome.
You'll build your own vampire.
Doing some cosmetic work on them while they're in the crypt before you wake them up, perhaps.
That's it. That's it. And then they're ready to roll. Fantastic.
Is there anything else we want to say about the vampire counts? I guess one thing new is they will have a new legendary lord in Neferata.
They will.
Who we'll speak about at some point in the future. But yeah, we've got there and more, because there's loads of stuff of touches on skill trees and
there's so much. We could go on for quite a while if we listed every minor thing. So we sort of hit the big topics there.
Fantastic. Then one other thing that I cut off of this because it was small, but I think people really like, is Vlad and Isabella being able to become lords in each other's campaigns via their skill tree, which has currently been looked at.
Yeah, that was something that where we are now stripping back how many vampires you get based on how many layers you have. It was noticeable when we played Vlad that actually maybe I kind of just want Isabella to also lead her own army, because having a second powerful vampire lord is very useful. But it is purely an option. If you like the fantasy of they're always together in each other's army, leave her as the hero, or vice versa, leave him as the hero. But if you do just want a second powerful vampire lord, it is completely up to you now.
Fantastic. I think that is what we have for the 9.0 section. There is more in 9.0 that we're looking at. We couldn't quite fit it all in here. I don't know what the time is.
10 past.
10 past.
Yeah, we've got to move on then. So there is more in 9.0 that's being worked on, but we'll when we're ready to show all of that, hopefully we'll be able to show you some more with gameplay builds and playing around in areas. Right. Let me press all my buttons. So it's time for our redacted reveal. I've seen a lot of people in chat hoping and guessing for very different lords. And I know there's one person on Reddit who's really hoping we're about to announce a man-sized rat. But we're actually going to be announcing a man-sized man, a slightly bigger man-sized man, and then something enormously not man-sized, kind of man.
Really big guy, yeah.
So we're pleased to announce the next Lord of the End Times is 1, 2, and 3. Who is this?
The triplets.
The triplets.
The foul triplets. So this is the Glockkin
Yep.
in all its glory, and that is the 3 brothers, Ethrak, Otto, and Gurk. So they come as a powerhouse. Literally, Gurk is the powerhouse, stomping around there as we see, with Ethrak and Otto on top. So you got a casting character up there, as well. Their backstory, if you don't know, they were raised in sort of the Norscan waste, and the Empire came and smashed down their village and destroyed everything. They lost their parents, and of course this was just the opportunity for Nurgle. There's already a connection there to sort of sow that seed, pledge themselves to him, and we have this mighty, beautiful trio.
It does feel like they got very different deals in that barter. So, Glockkin, they're joining us as
Warriors of Chaos.
Warriors of Chaos.
Yeah, and there's a few reasons for that. And this actually goes all the way back, like maybe 20 minutes or something. Part of the reason we're comfortable making Sigvald a champion is because we are sort of opening it up to go, okay, well, the Glockkin will be a second Nurgle champion. We're okay having a second Slaanesh champion. But the big reason why we wanted them to be Warriors of Chaos was from a campaign playstyle point of view. We really want it to go, we've got Warriors of Chaos here, we've got Festus there, and there's Nurgle all the way there. This was our nice extra step along the journey of where do they sit in this picture. So they have the greatest access to demons and the Nurgle roster compared to any of the other, none of the Champions of Chaos will get anywhere near the level of Nurgle access that the Glockkin will get. But they are still using some of the core Warriors of Chaos loop with their own special mechanic as well.
And I think we'll swap on over to showing, actually, hopefully they can still hear us, showing the Glockkin in action. But we've got a few units we'll be showing off, and I think a couple of those units will, I can see people saying, make sense. But I think a couple of those units will also show what we've been able to add to the Warriors of Chaos roster by making Glockkin into Warriors of Chaos, right?
Yeah. For those that know every unit we have in the game so far, there's actually not that many Nurgle units left. Yeah. We've got all the ones that we can get in now. Yeah. But there are other units that were still on the table, so we felt that actually, again, as another justifying point, Glockkin being Warriors of Chaos allows us to bring in some of the really cool units that aren't yet in the game.
Yeah. They get some big gribblies.
Yep. He's doing some gribblies as well right now, by the looks of it. So he's got a special, I think that's an ability, right, that you're using there to... and then I charge him in. I quite enjoyed recording Glockkin. He's very imposing. One of the figures we'll show later, I did not enjoy having to record, as you'll see. But a fantastic model. He did keep turning away from me all the time I was recording. But fantastic attacks. I think we've got that guy at the top as well. He's casted, throwing down some ranged fire as we were walking in.
Yeah, well... Not really, but he's
projectile every now and then.
Yeah, he's swiping. So Otto's at the very top. He's our super fan of Nurgle. He's the true believer of the 3 brothers. Ethrak is the caster, somewhat in the middle with the third arm, which is casting some of the spells in the animations. And Gurek, but he can only say Gurk now, so he goes by Gurk. Is the big boy stomping as we see on screen. I do want to take a second to point out the top and bottom titles, because after the last time we did this video, all of these stats are definitely going to change.
Yeah, like I can see a lot of people trying to discuss the health.
Yeah, all of these stats are definitely going to change, and they are work in progress. I remember when we showed the Tutogen Guard off, there was some concerns. And that won't be what's in the game.
So I grabbed this from a build, 3 days ago, Friday. Had to re-export it today because I misspelled progress. but which goes to show how development in progress that is, even working on the words. But that is absolutely right. So I think there were some balanced questions last time about Knights Panther, and I believe by the time we showed the video, they'd already been rebalanced from them.
Yes.
So I would take the numbers on the side as kind of a guide of what we're trying to make their role, rather than the specific numbers they'd land on.
Yeah, it's also where we don't necessarily show many of the abilities, because that's just more areas for us to say this is work in progress.
Yep. Shall we move on to the next unit?
Yeah.
Or should I say...
He's got some friends, hasn't he?
Units. So the Putrid Blight Kings.
Had to do.
Had to. And do you know what? I think there was a thread about this I saw yesterday, debating how we would do them. Would they be one unit? Would they be variants? And how have we done it?
There's 3 variants.
There are.
We've got all 3 variants in there. Yeah.
So here, and these are going to cycle through. So here we've got the base variant as axe and shield, and then we've got dual axes. I've got to say, I love the stomachs. On these
like
guys.
the little bell, little nurgling.
And then at some point in about 10 seconds, it will show us the third variant, who has, you can see one there, the nurgling in the stomach is fascinating and disgusting in equal measure. So is the bell. Some of them have like a bell ringing in there. So we've got 3 different variants here. Is that us trying to mirror what we see on the tabletop?
Yeah, effectively. We wanted to make sure that we got all of them in, so that there was a space in your roster for them as well. Like they are one of the most iconic end times units like that are in the entire setting.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, we have to do every part of it. We can't just pick our favourite.
For sure.
And we get to see them absolutely chow down on some units here. I think these are a mix of very low level and decent tier Kislev. But they, especially the great weapons, absolutely chewed through them in this.
I think to that point, that's what we've been trying to do for all these rosters, all the characters across the Lord of the End Times DLCs. Make sure that we've got the thematic units that are associated to it. So they do come in slightly different shapes and sizes, but it's really true to the Lord that you get in that pack.
Outside of Glockin, who else would anyone else have access to the Putrid Blight Kings? Are the Nurgle factions?
Yeah, so the Nurgle factions get them, Glockin gets them, and Archaon will definitely get them, because Archaon gets everything. Yeah. He's the coolest guy.
Someone said they don't look entirely finished, and they are development in progress.
And it was a keen eye whoever said that.
Then I'll let this bit finish off, just because there's I love seeing the animations of the great weapons. But then we will move on to our next unit, who I think is one very tall, who I think people are going to be pretty excited to see.
Kitted out as well.
Indeed. I put the Putrid Blight Kings there to show the absolute scale of this. You can see there's the armour on the giant is maybe what's going to differentiate them from what's already in the roster.
Big old blades as well.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. The blades linked arms.
But gameplay-wise, definitely the armour, right?
Yeah, I mean, a giant's biggest weakness is the fact that a few cheap archers can eventually take it down.
Yeah,
you're going to struggle to take this down with archers now. So it's that's the big upgrade. But again, to go back to why Warriors of Chaos is really useful for the Glockin pack is we've got this awesome guy.
Yeah.
And as we've done many times before, these guys will turn back up in the Chaos Dwarf Hellforge as well, because
that's exactly what people were just asking.
Oh,
so glad you managed to jump on that.
We're on the same wavelength.
Excellent.
So you can see, I think we had up there a couple of the abilities as well. I think we saw one of them pop as he charged in, which is an aura, which, if I had the memory to be able to remember what it said it did, I'd be a stronger man. But that'll come.
There's Yellen Ball.
Yes.
And there's the active, which is Ripping Blades.
Yeah, which I don't think we get to see Ripping... There you go, Yellen Ball. So reducing the leadership of everyone around them, which is the hex that we saw coming in as they moved in, and Ripping Blades being an activatable, which is a really cool little animation. But not in that video. He's just wailing on him. Okay, we have one more unit that we have to reveal, and then we are going to start wrapping things up. Let me just see if there's any questions from chat that have been passed forward. Nothing that I can see in there. All right. This was so difficult to film.
Right, this guy.
He moves around. So you can see it here. He moves around so much.
He's twitchy.
He is. I love this, though, when he's burying himself in his ooze. Not a sentence I thought I'd say. So the Basilisk, what kind of role is there? We've got them up there as a support monster. What kind of role should we expect to see?
I think that's a pretty good summary, being a support monster. It's another pretty fast, big monster in the roster of a single entity, and they've got a few auras on them that will make them problematic. Did the video stop there?
It's only for us.
Oh, okay, it's just a bit laggy. Okay. But yeah, another big fast monster, effectively, which is quite useful for Warriors of Chaos, because really, they've got the Slaughter Brute, they've got a few really, really big ones, but at this tier, they're kind of in a comparable point to Shaggoths in terms of cost range. So it's a nice, cool unit to have.
It was a great one, putting on the roster, and then the animators, you need to animate 8 legs, a tail, and
And then they said, well, why don't we also have him pick up a unit and eat them live on the battlefield?
Yeah. But it's great to get him into the game now. So I don't know if Monstrous Arcanum is quite complete yet, but we've done quite a few.
I think there's like a couple of the incarnates, but we've got the vast majority now.
Yeah. There's a question there of if you'd know who else would get access to the Basilisk.
So it's being debated because there's a certain culture that just happens to inherit.
I think that is what. I think that's the one that's currently being debated in chat.
well, let's say the debate continues, and potentially you could weigh in on the debate.
Yeah.
If you have a very strong opinion, let us know, and we can talk about all of our many stakeholders that agree on where should it sit.
We're seeing. Someone said, "Are we talking about the French?" That's not the faction we're talking about. Every DLC is a Beastmen DLC. I'm not seeing anyone say no. I don't want to see them as Beastmen, but I'd be surprised if I did.
I'm waiting for the one guy on Reddit who says, "I don't want to see them as Beastmen."
That'll be me. I don't want to have to film it.
They've come a long way, the Beasties.
They have, and we'll see if they get a little bit more. Okay, I'm bringing us back to our camera. Whoa, we're back. So that's our little preview of another Lord of the End Times and some more of the units coming with them. Exciting?
Yeah.
Look at the smiles.
Who could be the fourth?
Oh, so there is one more who we won't be talking about, so I don't want people to think that was me teasing that I was going to build up to something. No. One more who we won't be talking about. But we've now got 3 revealed. So we've got Nagash, we've got Boris, who we revealed during the show and tell, and now we've got Glocken.
Yeah, 3 great ones. And another great one still to come.
Exactly. But people really liked it last time that we didn't stop there when we revealed the units. We gave them teasers of some other units. So I've grabbed 4 images of other units that will be coming with the Glocken, and I have desperately tried to make these slightly harder than last time, because I think the Empire ones, within 10 minutes I saw people have got them. So this time...
These ones are better. These are actually a bit more of a challenge.
They're Sean approved. So we have 4 teasers here of 4 different units. None of these units are ones we have already revealed, at least to the best of my knowledge. So we'll see if people are able to work some of these out. Someone said, well, that's just obvious. And I hope they're joking, all right? Because I took so many different snips to try and work out which ones aren't too obvious. I think one of these is much more obvious than the others, but we'll see. Someone's correctly guessed that all 4 of them are Pontus.
How did they know?
Clearly I've left the names on. But we'll see if people are able to work those out. I was thinking we could have confirmed the Empire ones, but I think it was all just kind of agreed upon and set.
I'm pretty sure that it was agreed within 10 minutes. One person had a conflicting opinion until they pointed out.
Yeah, someone put a picture of the model and they're like, no, it's this part. So we'll see if people are able to get this one. Everyone thinks, so a lot of people trying to work out if they are Vermin Lords. These are all units coming with Glocken as part of the Warriors of Chaos roster. Okay. I think that's everything that we've got. Let me quickly see if there's any questions. So, do giants yell and ball?
Do all giants get yell and ball? As it stands today, no. But with all these tags about development and progress, things can change.
Do whatever you want. And we've answered about maybe who's going to be... We're looking at who's getting access to different units. Fantastic. Okay. Let me... find my pieces of paper and we can start to wrap these up. So that's we don't really need a name for this. We stole it from GW Rumor Engine, the CA Rumor Engine.
What are you talking about? This is unique. This
My
is
unique idea that I came up with.
Josh's snips.
But yeah, let us know what you think of them. Otherwise, that is our stream for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the What's Next Live. We hoped to give you a bit of a glimpse into what we're working on for 9.0, another look at another Legendary Lord. Let us know what you think, if you like the format of this and other bits you'd want to see. You will be hearing from us next, I think, generally in streams. I think I'm going to take next week off just to do a bit of work on this room. Maybe when we come back, we'll have little microphones here instead of ones up there, so I'll stop hitting my head. We'll see. But when you can expect to see more from End Times is at the moment when it's ready. We are heads down. I mean, you two in particular, I apologise for stealing an hour of your time. Heads down, launching later this summer. I'll still be here. We'll be chatting 8.1 next week. We'll be playing some campaigns. We've got plenty of other streams on the way, not just about Warhammer 3. Sorry, guys. But for 9.0 and End Times, the next time you'll hear from us will be closer to launch.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where we are. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate you coming along. Thank you so much, my wonderful guests. Lovely to have you here. I think we managed to get through everything in decent time and got to. So thank you very much for coming on.
No worries.
We'll see you all next time. See you at the next stream.
See ya.
Bye.
It's quite a few button presses for me to get to the end of this.
We'll sit here awkward.